When the first few episodes of Season 2 dropped for Vinland Saga, all I could see online was how boring the season has been. I already disagreed with that opinion at the time, but where we ended up, when it finished, surpassed even my own expectations. So this is for those who dropped Season 2 of Vinland Saga way too early. I think one simple thing people need to get over is that this is not a battle anime. Yes, Season 1 gave us some bloody and intense action, but that was never the main point of interest. Season 1 was a revenge story, but from Thor's death to Askeladd killing King Sweyn and his own subsequent death, to Canute changes in perspective, all of that was simply the foundation for the bigger journey Thorfinn was on. The story evolved from a revenge story to a story about the journey to becoming a true warrior. In traditional shonen, this would align with the MC being the strongest warrior while still having a good moral compass. A good example is Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. However, Thorfinn has to go even further beyond that on his journey. He's already proven his ability as a warrior in terms of pure violence, but those acts haunt him. He was motivated by revenge, but not only did he grow respect for his target Askeladd, he was also robbed of his revenge when Askeladd died. That is where we find Thorfinn at the end of Season 2, an unmotivated man whose only reason for living was revenge, and now that it's gone, he's empty. However, Askeladd is also a cautionary tale for Thorfinn. In a way, he saved Thorfinn from sharing the same fate as him by robbing him of revenge. Askeladd got his revenge on King Sweyn and died for it. Now he will spend the rest of his days in a bloody hell. Is this really the fate we want for our MC? Is this the fate he wants for himself? Thor's also contributed to this narrative with his death. He, unlike Askeladd, escaped war. He fled to Iceland with his wife and daughter to keep Thorfinn away from the violence of being a Viking, because he discovered what it meant to be a true warrior in his own way. We even see this when Thor fights Askeladd and his men. He defeated all of them without killing them and finally surrendered in order to protect Thorfinn and his village. He could have easily killed them all and lived on, but as the very catalyst for Thorfinn's revenge arc, he also showed him the key to what being a true warrior is. So you see, from the very beginning, peace was always the underlying plotline, not revenge. In Season 2, we see this plotline progress not only through Thorfinn, but also Canute. The end goal for both of them is peace, but their methods greatly differ. Whereas Thorfinn has found his resolve in not harming anyone on the road to achieving his goal, Canute is willing to lay out the path to peace in blood if necessary. Canute wants to stomp out war by eliminating all adversaries and becoming the ultimate form of power that can't be contested. Thorfinn wants to create a land where victims of war can escape and feel safe. So why should you want to watch this one badass MC on his road to pacifism? Well, that's a really simple way to put it. Thorfinn's journey is not only one of peace, but finding oneself, one's purpose. He doesn't go on this journey alone either. The addition of supporting characters like Einar and Arnheid, his fellow slaves who are also victims of war, teach him about the repercussions of his actions. He was so obsessed with revenge, he didn't even realize how his time as a Viking affected the families of those he killed. Einar had his entire family killed by Vikings and resented them for this. Arnheid had her life ruined by her husband's selfish decision to participate in war and had to witness her child being murdered as a result of that war. She was separated from her husband with no idea what happened to him. These friends teach Thorfinn not only about what his actions have done to those he's killed and their loved ones, but also his own loved ones. Life has been chasing him for years, only for his love and concern to be constantly dismissed. Thorfinn's family has been completely neglected. They've already accepted his death. These are all the different strings that tie into the story of Season 2. Honestly, Season 2 is a beautiful story for Thorfinn. There's definitely less action than Season 1, but the payoff is the character development for our main character and the relationships he builds along the way. Arnheid's story is tragic. She re-establishes a connection with her husband only to find herself a victim of violence once again when Galdar ultimately dies. Einar hates men like Thorfinn, yet they find a mutual understanding and friendship between each other. Einar teaches Thorfinn how much more effort goes into creating life versus taking it. They cultivate land together and are hurt when their efforts are thwarted or do not bear any fruit. It's a simple process, yet also a difficult ordeal that they go on in order to ultimately be freed from slavery. Something that Thorfinn did not care about at the start of Season 2. He already basically let himself die inside and resolved himself to being a slave forever. He saw no future. But through Einar, he learned the importance of life and freedom. he found a new purpose, in turn finding new life. Just like the crops he and Einar built through hard work, he needed to build himself back up through difficult self-assessment. I love this season. It's a masterpiece in my own personal opinion, and I wanted to end off the video with a scene from season 2 that I feel takes Thorfinn on his third, maybe final step. I don't know where the manga goes from here, but his step out of slavery, his next step on his journey to Vinland.
息を引き取るとき、すぐに答えられなかった。なぜ生きなければならないのか。地獄を生き、死に安らぎを求める魂にどんな言葉をかけられるって言うんだ。生きろと言える世界が欲しい。死ぬ以外救いを持たない人たちに胸を張って語れる死の魅力を超えたそんな血を、俺たちの生きる世界に、それだけをみんな求めていたのに。飲み込めやしない。どこにもないなら、ないなら作る。エイナル、兄弟、一緒に来い。ヴィンランドに平和の国を作るんだ。アルネイズさんに胸を張って語れるような。
やろう、兄弟。海の向こうに奴隷も戦争もない国を作ろう。アルネイズのために。